Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. You know, something is unfolding right now that is very special, and I hope all of you listening are just as appreciative of it as I most certainly am. Because uh, this is, as far as I'm concerned, likely to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To be in the crypto space at this moment in time, right here, right now, holding XRP, right before it's going into blast off mode. I mean, it already pumped after the election, but the best part actually happens in the second pump historically. Uh, I hope that you all understand the scope of what is about to happen. And the truth is, you know, and this is a historic time. Like, I think we're going to look back on this with fond memories, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years out. We'll be thinking of the exact moment that we're in right now, and it'll be a fleeting moment, but it's going to be life-changing for so many people. And the truth is, you have discovered XRP way, way, way before almost every human on the planet. I just hope that you're like me and you're like, wow, that actually is amazing and super rare that this actually has worked out for me. You actually can. Don't have a defeatist attitude. Nothing works out for me. Well, just shut up. Crypto does work. Crypto, why? Because the crypto pie keeps getting bigger, because it's useful, there's utility, and more people are figuring this out. You're one of them. You're super early. And that's how you ultimately get rich. And I'll say this, frankly, it's amazing to see that even after, the price of XRP surged last year after the election, and there's a huge shift in institutional money flowing in, and there's public companies launching XRP treasury reserves. Like, that's crazy. There's tons of them that have publicly traded companies launching XRP treasury reserves. Would sound made up just a year ago, but it's real. And there's an overall increase in the notoriety of XRP, obviously. Even though that's all true, most people just aren't paying attention. Do you ever just walk around like you're hanging out in your local hometown, your big city, wherever the hell you live? Maybe you go into a grocery mart and you just recognize. You ever have these moments that just pop in your head, these invasive thoughts? You're like, most of these people have no freaking clue. Like, they just don't know what you know. And it's kind of sad, because the truth is, you can just choose to be rich if you want to be. Even if you're of fairly modest means, if you make a concerted effort to actually invest in the crypto space, and if we continue to be correct and the crypto pie keeps getting bigger, and I sure as hell believe that will be the case, like, that's it. That's the ticket out. Like, there you go. You can just choose to do that and then let time pass, and then you're actually just rich. Like, that's what happens. That's actually what happens. And you can just choose to be rich. And all these people walking around stressed about money, this and that, credit card debt, you don't have to live that life. You don't. And look, I have nothing to sell you. I'm just speaking off the cuff here. Like, this is the type of thing that I've been thinking about for years and years and years now. You don't have to. And so I'm like the rest of you, like, there's nothing special about me. I'm just a dude on the internet. But I'm trying to better my financial position. And my God, getting into crypto and specifically XRP, best decision financially that I've ever made, unquestionably. And so I'm just walking around there in the public, and maybe I'm walking my dog in the park. I'm like, these people just have no freaking clue about any of this. They're squandering the greatest opportunity for wealth accumulation by investing that our species has ever known. And XRP is a gigantic part of that. It is huge, and it is not done, folks. But so people may not be paying attention now, but they will. It's just that, by then, it's going to be too late to acquire meaningful wealth from XRP. By the time everybody agrees, of course XRP made sense. What do you mean everybody uses it? It's all over the place, all over the planet. By then, it's too late. It'll be as boring to invest in XRP way in the future as it is to invest in precious metals. But that's not where we are now. We've got the opportunity right now. And so I'm going to share an update on some various XRP metrics, which look fantastic, by the way, and also talk about a bit about what's likely to occur. So take a look at this. This is just so funny to me. So this is the Google Trends website, right? And I just plugged in XRP. So this is showing the people, the number of people that are Google searching for XRP. And not surprisingly, this is a 5-year chart again. Not surprisingly, of course, it spiked actually at the end of 2024 when people were just like flowing into crypto a bit. It wasn't, so there were a lot of people jumping in at the time. That type of mania is not the type of mania that's right ahead of us, though, I suspect anyway. We'll see. But look what's happened. It's come down here, and I just look at this. So, like, this is the new normal. This is the new boring range. See, I'm moving my mouse right here? That's the new boring range. So, but there are more people, though. So, like, the new boring range, for, like, in terms of generating interest for searches in XRP, it's fairly close to the peak from, or maybe this wasn't the peak. Was this 2022, 2023? So that could have been something different. But it's fairly close to, like, the peaks even over just the last 5 years. And now it's the norm. Look, I mean, it was ridiculously lower for most of the last half a decade, frankly. Yeah, I mean, it's just wild. I mean, so this would have been the peak for last market cycle in April 2021. But think about that. So there's that much more interest, and it's causing people to Google search XRP, so on and so forth. This is going to be not like, just mark my words. This will be nothing compared to the future. The number of people searching for XRP on the internet, another few years from now, half a decade from now, it's going to be through the roof compared to where it's now, even if it's not in the euphoria phase of a market cycle. You're just early. So congratulations. Like, seriously, credit to you for doing stuff here. Seriously, most people don't have the initiative to even start researching this stuff. We're all just regular people trying to better our lives. It really does work. And I'm just showing you. So we have this new norm. It's neat that it's higher after the election. But just like back here, I moved my mouse where this was the norm. And see how low it is now that we see that part of the next cycle? This is going to look like trash in the future. But that's good. That means that you're super freaking early. You love to see that. And look at the norm and now instead of in terms of number of new accounts activated. And these are metrics I highlight from time to time on my channel. I haven't pulled them up. It seems like a while. I don't know if it's been a few weeks. I don't know if it's 3 or 4 weeks. It feels like anyway. But look at the number of new accounts created over the last year here. And you can see that for the last few months, any given day varies, but it could be 3,000 to 4,000 new accounts, somewhere around there. Kind of varies. But then you go back a year ago, what was it? Look at this. A little less than 1,000 per day, sometimes a little over 1,000 in a day. And it bounced around back then too. But it's just like, this is the new norm. 4 times as many new accounts created on XRP, on the XRP ledger per day as there were about a year ago. And this, even here now, will look like nothing next cycle, and the cycle after that, and the cycle after that. And so that's why I was saying earlier in the video, like, I actually do. I mean, I can't be the only one that thinks like this, right? You're walking around, you're like, all these people's like, God, and some of them hold crypto, but most people don't, even in the United States where I live. So it's just like, oof. Like, you could just be, I'm just thinking, all of you, if you could just choose to be rich, you could just do it. You could do the thing, you buy stuff, and then you wait. Even if it takes a freaking decade. Even if it took that long. Not that it necessarily has to, depending on how much money you're putting in, and what your exposure is, your risk tolerances. But even if it's that, like, that picks you up decades in wealth accumulation. Even if it were just that. It's wild. I mean, and look at this. There are now, this is the XRP rich list. There's now over 6.6 million XRP wallets. Look at how it just jumped up, Mike. That's going to be it's going to hit 10 million one day. It'll be in tens of millions. Don't be surprised when it's one day over 100 million. I'll not be surprised to see that. But so think about that in comparison. Think about the 100 millionth person creating an XRP wallet. I kind of wonder what it was like back when there were only like 5 or 6 million. XRP is pretty cheap back then. That's the type of stuff that's going to happen. Like, we're almost there, folks. I highlighted this in my last video, but it's so badass, I just have to at least briefly mention this again. This is from Cointelegraph. Global M2 money supply hits a new all-time high of $55.48 trillion. Will Bitcoin follow? Spoiler alert, the answer is going to be yes. I just wanted to highlight that Global M2 is still doing this. So as liquidity increases, people, businesses, institutions need to allocate that. And typically, this results in an increased appetite for risk on assets like stocks and cryptocurrencies. And XRP would be part of that, my friends. And Bitcoin has tracked, it's tracked M2 in terms of correlation for over a decade now. Tracks about directionally about 90% of the time. So it was just going to be broken. Now it's just not going to go up here. It's just not going to do it this for the first time in over a day. We're done. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think so, folks. It's about to get bananas here. And almost nobody on the planet knows. Like, even right now, in early July 2025, people could put in money and just have ridiculous returns if we're right and, things really start kicking off in the coming, whether it's weeks or months, whatever it ends up being. The degree to which you can multiply like investments in crypto, it's wild. Like, and just people don't know that you can just choose to have more wealth. You can just choose to do that. And people just aren't doing it because they don't know. Or if they have heard about it, oh, the magic internet money thing sounds like a scam. Okay. Excuse me, folks. I apologize. I am still getting over my sickness a bit. I am having coughing fits here and there, but the fever's gone. So that's fantastic. No more aches and chills and all that crap. I'm going to take a sip of water. Sorry about that. But you are welcome for me leaning away from the microphone when I coughed, because I'm a courteous YouTube channel runner. Here's a post from Crypto Michael. He said, the crypto market is on the verge of historical bullish breakout. Above this line, you'll witness a parabolic advance. Parabolic is actually an understatement. This will be a full-blown digital gold rush. We'll make so much money that you'll wonder how this is even legal. See, the thing is, that might sound a little bit boisterous to anybody not in crypto. That makes sense. Like, it actually just does. It literally actually just makes sense. I'm speaking as someone that's been here and seen this for over 7.5 years. Yes, that actually is what happens. Now it's up to you to make it happen. You got to buy the right stuff and, risk tolerances and do whatever custody is safe. And you got to figure all that stuff out for yourself here. And I'm not telling you what to buy or sell. I don't know what's best for you. I'm just telling you that the crypto pie keeps getting bigger. And as someone who has been here this long, if you just have broad exposure, just speaking in a general sense, and you just invest enough, then it becomes really substantial and life-changing. It just does. That's what happens. Don't invest in stupid things. My God, there is such a thing as going way too far out the risk curve. Like, that's an actual thing too, though. I mean, if you want to do like a certain percentage of your portfolio for funsies, okay, fine. I'm not as much into that, but if you feel like you got to do some of that, fine. Some people do feel that way. I get it. Just like for people who don't gamble, you put $5 in the slot machine when you're in Vegas, and that's it. Like, ooh, I gamble. Like, okay, same concept, right? But really, just sticking to the larger caps, just doing that, and just have a long time horizon, like that really does just work. See, this is why I have nothing to sell you, though. It's because you don't need a course. It's just you have exposure, you keep it for years, and then you win. That's why I have nothing to sell you. You don't need a course. You don't need to learn how to chart. You don't need to know any of that stuff. You just get exposure to the asset class. You don't have to know all the ins and outs of everything that you're buying. You need exposure to it. That's it. Just like people that buy, invest in the stock market. Do you think that they're actually researching every single company that they're investing in? No. What smart people do is they will buy ETFs that track the S&P 500, for example. That's 500 companies. Do you think that people are researching 500 companies? So sorry about that, folks. More water. It's time for more water. But no, of course they aren't doing that. Of course they aren't doing that. At researching, you don't need to with crypto. You just need to have broad exposure because you can't know for sure what's going to happen. That's the point. Here's a post from Dark Defender. And this is initial post from February 13th this year. It's interesting to see how things panned out. It said projection on the far left. July 3rd is the realization on the right. It said primary resistances are being eliminated one by one. XRP history in the making. Oh, this is not fun. I might have to cut this video a little bit short because this is not going to go well, probably. I hate it. I've made it after being sick this much, I haven't had a video where I've actually had to tap out slightly early. The good news is I've covered most of what I actually wanted to touch on. There are a couple things I can throw into a later video. But let me just read this first. At least he says, XRP history in the making. That's for damn sure. He's got resistances listed $2.33, $2.46, supports at $2.22 and $2.07. So we are living in that moment. History is in the making. Sorry, folks. It may not feel like it right now, but it most certainly is. So I sincerely apologize for this, but is what it is. I'm just going to tap out for now. So sorry. Thanks for hanging with me, especially if you made it this far while I'm starting to cough at the end. I did not think that was going to happen, but is what it is. All right, no outro. Sorry, guys. I gotta get out of here. Thank you so much for listening, though. Hopefully I'm better by the next one.